get to go outside to do art on hot, warm days, and sometimes we've been out here when it's raining. And when we make art, we normally make it about what we are inspired by. Like, all of us were inspired by bugs and birds. So
it was really fun because it wasn't like a lesson. It was more free and you could do more stuff. I just sitting in the classroom just listening. It's not very fun, but it's really fun outside.
And also children have different ways at looking at things than adults, because they have different, they probably have different imaginations to adults and stuff like that.
There's hundreds of different ways to do art, and they're all quite unique.
it makes you feel closer to nature, and you can also see new parts of it.
And art is it's like another nature thing. It's like the core of us.
I'm going to be Tarzan.
The coconut bird.
Or something. Or a buggy.
It does. I think that's been made by someone here, hasn't it?
Someone probably
like a giant egg.
And you could use that.
But is that the snail of liberty, Andre?
No.
Can I have a look?
It's not.
Oh.
This is the best day ever.
Got your back, literally.
Well, we are best friends.
What do we need to do?
Oh, yeah, it's working. It's working. Let's go get more stuff. Come on.
I'll do it. Yay, it works. It works.
Yeah.
So that when it's Christmas time, they come and get some pine trees to put in their houses to decorate, and sometimes they decorate the live trees.
Like this one here. Is this the decoration going on here?
Yeah.
That's so beautiful. Wow, it's like a whole world, isn't it, within a world?
And then we've got a bird nest for both of them.
And we've got a shelter, so if it rains they can go under there, and there's leaves and feathers inside, and there's a feather, so in case this breaks it can just float away.
Oh,
Or if they go on holiday.
oh, it's so beautiful.
Or it could be just like the white antenna for Wi-Fi.
Yeah, the Wi-Fi.
Andre, I like the way your eyebrows move when you
They
said
can
that.
they can go on Twitter.
Oh, Twitter.
Will be their social
So you've made this incredible home, but also like this amazing kind of playground for them.
Do you know why that's come to see you?
Why?
Because you are the master of the bee, aren't you?
Yeah.
You are the master that initiated Fuzzy.
So this is me practicing my sky because I'm going to put it all in a big picture.
The main thing that I've noticed is those children who maybe aren't so confident in themselves or as confident in their ability in the classroom, actually through the art project, giving them open-ended activities, I've seen them become much more confident in themselves, and actually then for those children that's actually transferred into their learning, which is a really positive thing. In terms of honing their artistic skills, you can just see there's such a definite journey that those children have been. Children are working collaboratively, taking themselves off, sometimes guided, they've been prompted or guided to work collaboratively. Other times they've just taken themselves off into small groups, and that's been really good to see because actually you're not seeing as many problems now in the classroom. I would say I knew them really, really well before the project. But actually, through the project, I've had the opportunity to get to know my children in an informal setting. Those children who maybe I hadn't had that opportunity with, hadn't built as strong a relationship with. I've got to, be involved in activities with them, learn with them, even to sit down and have a bit of a laugh, be a bit silly with them. And I think I've really benefited in that as a teacher, getting to know my children, getting to know their interests more, what they've been up to, but also I think they've benefited from that because they can see me in a different light, and I think it's just been really, really positive. So I think as a class, I just feel like I know my children much better now, and I think they've also valued from me having a go, learning with them, even saying, oh, oops, I made a mistake here, I'll try again another day. And actually, I feel much more confident now in taking my children to maybe unfamiliar areas and just letting them get involved in lots of activities and kind of just be free, but also knowing that they will listen and they know where the boundaries are. So I think as a teacher I feel more confident in going outside. The artist, learning with the children, and actually now I can see how you can use materials in a different light, and especially using things like natural materials, something that I've never thought of to use in a primary school or even just in art in general, just to see it in a different way. So I think that's definitely going to inform my future practice. I've seen how the children really flourish in an outdoor environment, and I will definitely be using the nature area in school much more and be taking the children outside because I can just see how much that impacts their learning.
But it's been lovely to see those children who don't normally excel in so many different areas of the curriculum finally come out of their shells. I've just seen, particularly some of the boys, so much confidence, actually coming up to me and wanting to share something with me which they would never do before unless I was to initiate a conversation. So they just seem so much more full of life, so much more confident in building friendships, not with the usual children they would play with. They're taking more risks. Some children who, when the artists come in the mornings, they usually ask them, oh, what have you done over the last week? Out in the nature area, out with art, and some of them have mentioned actually going back to Bramblesfield and actually taking their family there. So I think it's not only created friendships within the classroom, but they've also built on those relationships at home. So not only the artistic skills I've learned from the artists, but just having that confidence to take the children outside, no matter what the lesson, no matter what the weather, and having the confidence to not always go with my plan, but see where they take the learning. I've had some children say, and I think I've quoted it one of the weeks, where they've said, I can't concentrate at the moment because I'm just staring at a wall, I can't do my learning. And it's like, okay, well, we're just going to take this learning outside and just be in nature. It doesn't have to be something we need to heavily resource. It doesn't have to be something I need to plan in advance. I'm just going to make the most of this opportunity, and I know I'm going to get more effective and quality learning out of you because you're in a space where you feel comfortable, and your imagination, you'll be able to create so much more.
Not always about feeling good, is it, either? You know, there's been some quite challenging things that have come up and exploring different emotions. At one point, you know, quite a few of the children had a cry about people that they'd lost in the past, or people that they missed.
Leaves to make art, you know, you're using the actual physical thing to do land art, or actually, you know, you're using your dandelion to make yellow, or you're rubbing some grass onto your paper and that makes green, and that's just been, you know, they've just really enjoyed getting their hands dirty, I guess.
When we go outside and talk about being an artist and preparing to create and using all our senses and feeling, you know, where you are, feeling the air on you and listening, closing your eyes and listen and touch different objects, and so just really, really connecting outside as a part of nature. And that's what one of the children said as well, that it was going to Bramblefields, it was wild, it wasn't like going into nature, it's like you are nature.
I would consider it a really profound learning environment. I see it, you know, in a way as a kind of, a second teacher, very much in the Reggio kind of principle, philosophy of engaging with the outdoors and the environment, really. So the environment of the outdoors, I think, is so critical for children to be in. And I think by offering creative and art activities, as we've seen earlier with the children now, it invites them to actually slow down and engage with nature, with being outside. I think the combined offer of creativity outside is kind of really fundamental as a human need.
So for me the connection is that the nature gives the materials, the palette, the inspiration, and then the freedom to create, to intervene in the environment, and the well-being is of this agency, of this ability, because there is no one to tell, is this the right way, is this the wrong way, what you are doing, just you and your ideas, and if there are friends, classmates around, that's even better. So yeah, I think it's just something I would like to for everyone to have in their life.
Knowing the opportunity and being able to really embrace being outside, almost as if they can begin to understand how it's impacting on them and how it makes them feel.
There's confidence in them now.
Confidence and freedom and a sense of agency that they can express themselves. And I'm absolutely convinced that it's the outdoors that is supporting and holding them, to give them permission and confidence, as you say, Tonka, to...
We talked about the materials, of how they prefer the land. The land art and the materials in nature, and how they prefer the mixing of the leaves. And I think this is exactly what it is that the nature offers endless opportunities.
Yeah, there are qualities that are running through this in terms of the choices they were making about their favourite materials, and also the way that they embraced this as another kind of palette, as a possibility, a space that evolves. It's not a kind of prescribed space of the classroom that's kind of fixed in status. It's kind of responding to this, to the real world, to the environment, and to an ever-changing environment.
I think, I think like more students and more young people should get involved in this kind of stuff, about the environment, stopping forest fires, and.
If you could say something about this project.
Having like a whole day outside, like at least once a week.
What, having a whole day outside once a week? Yeah, that's brilliant. Yeah.
Like, make the school do more art because, like, that's how you can just accomplish more things. Like,
people should, like, instead of, like, watching YouTube and playing video games, they should actually, like, get off the TV or the iPad or the device they're playing on and actually, like, draw more and also, like, make land art. It's good that we just don't go out on nice sunny days. It's good when we go out in the rain because the rain makes, like, the air fresh because it cleans it sometimes. And that's when all the interesting bugs come out, like snails and slugs that you don't really get to see every day.
We need nature because we can't survive without nature. If there was, like, if this one wasn't there, it would just be like full of just dirt. That's all.
Thank you, Benjamin. Can everybody else stay here? Let's just have a moment of celebrating this beautiful work.